Hey, everybody. I sat down 2 weeks ago with one of my dear friends and favorite baseball players of all time. When I was a kid, I used to play a game called Ken Griffey Jr. Major League Baseball. And there was a guy that you could acquire very easily in trades, even though he was one of the most powerful hitters in the entire game. Played for the San Diego Padres, a team which I can happily say the New York Yankees gave an ass whooping to in the 1998 World Series. And yes, I'm always rubbing it in his face, one of my pals who I've hung out with in real life, and he's called into this show countless times. I like to consider him our MLB contributor on this program, which is an absolute honor. The great Greg Vaughn. And as I'm sitting here watching the Padres lay the smackdown on the Dodgers, what better time to put out this episode? I promised you guys I had some content coming. It's a little bit late, but hey, better late than never. 2 week old content wrapped up and hand delivered for you, the viewers, on this YouTube channel. Now, without further ado, one of the greatest sluggers of all time, a guy that hit 54 home runs, finishing fourth in the home run race, the legendary home run race of 1998, slugger and MLB All-Star Greg Vaughn. And now for your feature presentation, MLB legend Greg Vaughn, correspondent of this program, returns to talk, well, a little bit of everything. How you doing today, Mr. Vaughn?
Hey, Rod, I'm good, man. Hey, I want to say thank you for bringing me on so late, though, because you know what? It was Mom's birthday, so we had to take her out to eat. So I appreciate you.
Happy
I,
birthday to mom. This is
I,
this is pretty much as close as we're gonna get to live radio here on the Ryan Show FM. I'm usually not up this late unless I'm doing something workaholic. And tonight, this definitely calls to stay up late. So it's good to have you here, Greg. And I hope you enjoyed dinner with mom.
oh, I loved it, man. Thank you. Always, every second with Mom is a blessing. Thank you.
And you guys are out. Are you in Vegas? Are you in
Yeah, I'm in
Sacramento?
Vegas. I'm in Vegas. This is home. Vegas
I
is
love it.
home.
And we've got a lot going on in the world of Las Vegas, including, I mean, are you guys ready for an MLB team out there?
Oh yeah, hey, we're ready for everything, dude. Basketball will be here in a second. I mean, it's when you talk about Mecca, I know you with being New York, Hamptons, wherever you're at today. You know what I mean? Queens, Staten Island, wherever you're at. Uh, I think Vegas is that place. You know what I mean? Vegas is the place of. I mean, every sporting event. Uh, it's just the place to be right now. I think you know what I mean. And for me, everything's only 20 minutes away. If I want to get in it, I can get in it. If I don't, I don't.
Any plans on working with the Athletics in any capacity when they come
I,
out
I,
there?
I would love to. You know what? Baseball is my love, my dream. But we just have to see. I think now with the analytics and people, they as far as baseball ops stuff, I think it's different. But I think there's a way that it can coexist for me to do something with athletics.
What do you mean? You're one of the great hitters of our time. Of course they could do something with you.
Yeah, but you know what? Not baseball wise, the team is going to run the team the way they want to. But as far as being involved and being part of the city of Vegas with that, I think it's a win-win for both. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I always enjoy it when they bring former great hitters to be hitting coaches and actually teach what they know. I heard, I think it was a year ago, Chipper Jones went and he saw Spencer Strider strike out 13 people. It was one of those gem games, classic games. And he said that he wouldn't be able to hit in this era, that he'd hit 200. And I wasn't sure if he was just trying to kind of like kiss ass a bit to Spencer Strider. I mean, when you look at pitching now, do you ever think the same thing? And that just the way the game's played out, like you said, analytics.
Well, like I said, hey, Chipper's one of the best of all time. I think if if I had to guess what Chipper was talking about, I would say the way they set the players up to approach the game is a lot different than us. You know, all of us were individuals when we played. So I knew what Greg Vaughn's, I knew what my strengths were, my weaknesses were, and everybody wasn't the same. Now it's like, you know what? I want the number 9 hitter. I want the guy to come off the bench to do what my $30 million player did. No, we had guys that move runners, hit. We all of us can hit the ball the other way to move a runner over. We can hit a ground ball to second base, shortstop. So I think Spencer said. I mean, not Spencer, not you, but I'm just saying he was saying Ryan. He was saying he. I think the way they. I don't want to say the analytics and teaching the game is that everyone's the same. We weren't the same. Chipper was who he was. I was who I was. A nine hitter who was who he was. A number one hitter. A two guy moved him over. We all had our roles. You know what I mean? Now there's no roles. Everybody, hey, get in there, swing for the fences, and whatever happens, happens. And once again, I think there's a way that both sides can coexist. But I don't think they want us in the game. So that's because we're going to question some of the stuff. It doesn't mean we disagree, but they don't want questions.
As in those people that run the analytics, they don't
Yes,
want to be
that's it.
questioned in the front office, essentially.
They don't want to be questioned because out's not an out, man. And you look at the teams that win. You go back to Boach last year. His staff, all players, and
Yeah.
history in the game. Go back to Atlanta, all players, history in the game. Go back to Dodgers, all players, history of the game. The GMs are analytic guys, but they have guys teaching the players that actually play. Now, how does a guy teach a player or understand what a player goes through if he's never been through it? It's easy for someone to say, hey, you face Nolan Ryan, you face Pedro, you face Randy Johnson, you face Tom Seaver, you face all these guys, right? You're supposed to do X, Y, Z. That's not the way it works. Those guys are all number ones, right? They're all number one starters. And you can't to me you can't eliminate the human element. The human element still plays a big part. And on my podcast, Life After Sports 23, we were talking about Dusty Baker, who's like the Godfather. I mean, I don't want to say big brother, but like father figure to me, same hometown, all that. How does he win 95 games to 100 every year? And he's sitting at home, and you got guys that replace him winning 60 games, and they keep jobs. What's wrong with that picture? Is it that people I can't have Dusty proving me wrong, or I have to be right so much that I can't acknowledge being wrong? I can't be accountable. All of us have to be accountable for something, right?
It's a good point. And when you think about it, there's a system built around these analytics, and people have jobs based upon how this new system works. So when guys like Dusty Baker come out there and prove those systems wrong, it doesn't help anybody's job security.
No, so when you prove people wrong, it's not even about proving people wrong. It's about being humble enough to know that, hey, I'm as smart as I think I am. It's okay to still evolve and take advice, and and maybe somebody that's played the game, maybe they can help me look at it from a different perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that they don't want that perspective. They don't appreciate it, and so they eliminate it. Because you tell me, so I'm a fire guy that wins 95 games, and say, oh, he's never won the big one. Yeah, yeah, he has as a player and a coach, and he put you in position to win every single year, right?
Yeah.
But so I'm a higher guy that wins me a third of the games, and I'm going to keep him as my manager. To me, it's I can't make sense of it. You know what I'm saying, right? I
Yeah.
mean, for me, it makes no sense to unless I want to control every aspect of everything and not hear any rebuttal from anyone. You know what I
Wow.
mean? I think some people don't want to hear the rebuttal, where the good organizations, hey, or businessman or anything else in the world, we're only as good as the people we surround ourselves with, right?
It's true.
So we don't have to agree. We don't have to, but if it's going to make all of us better, why wouldn't we do that? And I think they eliminate the player that has played. Can you tell me half the managers in the league? I can't tell you because they didn't play. You
Good
know what I
point.
mean? But they're not. They're also not gonna. They're also not gonna. You know, ruffle feathers or question people.
Yeah.
Whatever anyone says, they're gonna do. Right. So, I, to me, I think that's why you have Dusty, Jerry Manuel, Ozzie Guillen, people like that at home. You know what I mean? It's just Cito Gaston. I mean, we're talking about winners, man, and they're at home.
Would you say that the role of manager has almost diminished because of the fact that essentially you have to answer to so many people? Back in the day, you'd answer to the GM and you'd answer to the owner. Now you have to answer to a ton of other people. And it's like
Correct.
sometimes the manager, you look at Aaron Boone, you wonder like how many decisions this guy's actually making.
And the thing about Booney, though, and I'll say this, and I'll attest to this. I play with Booney. He comes from a baseball family. Booney knows baseball. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Of
But
course.
Booney,
I mean, yeah.
Booney knows baseball, and I can't elaborate on Booney per se because you, the players still have to play, right? The players still have to play. But if you're if you have people in the minor leagues that have never played and reading a book or per se a computer saying you have to do this, this, and this because a guy from Harvard, Yale, Brown, whatever, MIT said this is what the computer says. But it's a little bit more difficult and tougher than what that computer says. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If that was the case, it wouldn't be any big leagues. That's just hard, you
Yeah.
know. And so you need someone to be able to be a psychologist, a hitting coach, a manager, and understand what life is about. It's just not about numbers, how many you drive in. You're supposed to walk off of Nolan Ryan and Roger Clemens and Pedro and Maddox. They don't walk people, but
Yeah.
they don't give up a lot of hits too. So a computer can't tell me I'm supposed to go 1 for 2 with 2 walks off people that don't do this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The human element. We don't make our money off number one starters. We
Yeah.
don't. You know, they all get beat eventually. They make mistakes, but we don't make our money off of them. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's a little bit more difficult, I think, than the computers and analytics for me. But I think there's a way to coexist. But my personal opinion, I don't think they want to coexist with people that play the game or baseball people. You got Willie Randolph at home. You got Dave Parker not in the Hall of Fame. Come on, man, really? I mean, they're going to wait till he passes before they put him in the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
You got my baby brother Gary Sheffield, 500 home runs, 500 doubles. I mean, the stuff not in the Hall of Fame. Come on.
Yeah, it's
Well,
a
I mean,
travesty.
so if the bar's been set and all the boxes have been checked, how can they vary from player to player? It's because of people's perception or likes or dislikes of people. That's your vote is on, do they check the boxes? It's not, your
Yeah,
vote is on how they responded during the interview. You know what I mean? And I
exactly.
think that in baseball, that's part of the tragedy that we haven't fixed yet. You know what I mean? We have a tendency to, uh, how do I say this? To acknowledge or reward after people are gone, and when we can do it when they're here. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it's something. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'm not trying to be the smartest guy, but I don't understand it, and the people I talk to, a lot of them don't understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot to unwrap there. There's a lot to unwrap there. So, like, the first part of it, we talk about these guys in these offices making these decisions. It's almost even on the most micro levels. I don't want to believe that Gerrit Cole walked Rafael Devers like that the other night. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't see it.
So
I don't know what.
the man's pitching a no hitter, and Rafael Devers has just been destroying him forever, hitting home runs off him. And he makes the choice to walk him in 4 pitches, and I wasn't sure if it was a decision made by Cole or Boone or the front office calling in. It just didn't seem like what a Yankee would do
What was
pitching
the
to a Red
score?
Sox.
What was the score?
The Yankees were, if I remember correct, the Yankees were up 1 to nothing.
So so by what you just described, I would say that's a business decision for us to win the game. If this guy owns me, I'm not going to make a mistake. Maybe he'll chase a few pitches. If he doesn't, I'll put him on, get the next guy out, and we win the game. And I don't need to know the outcome. I don't know what happened, but you tell me what happened after that.
He gave up 7 runs.
Right after
Completely
that,
broke the momentum. He was pitching a no hitter. Completely broke the momentum, and I felt like it just shook him mentally. Like for you to give up like that when you're someone that's so important to the team, you're not the captain, but you pretty much are. Gerrit Cole is like the heart and soul of that bullpen. So to me, and look, by the way, I don't know what it's like to
heart
be
and
out
soul
there.
of the. He's the number one starter for that team. Yeah, not bullpen, but number one
I'm sorry, I don't
starter.
know why I said bullpen. Exactly. You're literally the Cy Young winner last year.
But you
You just
also,
expect more.
but you expect more. But also, see, this is the part I was talking about when it comes down to analytics and the
Yeah.
rest of it. You have to understand also that the human element.
Yeah.
So in their meeting, or I wasn't there. I don't know. When I was in our meetings, they'd be have guys that we weren't going to allow to beat us, right?
Yeah.
So if we walked him, the game plan was like, we're not going to let Rafael Devers beat us, but I didn't anticipate giving up. And what happened after that, per se. But there's every day there's a lineup that you've picked. If we lose this game, we can't let this person beat us. And hey man, he's been doing this shit for a long time. That kid, since he's been 19 years old, has been destroying pitchers. And if he owns this guy, he owns the Yankees, period, right? So they took their chance, but after that, it just went bad. And but if you're a baseball person, you understand
I
that
mean, I get
that
it. I get in theory, but at the same time, like the competition, I get it in theory. If he's been annihilating him all year, but just in general, almost like the feng shui of it. Maybe just pride of the Yankees. Maybe it's just me as a Yankees fan, just seeing that. I'd rather give up the home run and have the ball game tied than just break the momentum and just I don't know. You'd think that it would do something mentally, but then again, you're the expert here, not me.
no, I wouldn't say expert, but I played, and I know what that, you know, there's certain people you won't allow to beat you. So if I'm facing the Red Sox, Devers every single night, he's the one that can't beat us. But I don't anticipate what happened after I walked him,
Makes
because I
sense.
don't because I mean he kills the Yankees. I mean I don't even watch that series, and I know that as a baseball fan what he
Yeah.
does to the Yankees. But we did what we had to with him, but we didn't take care of what happened after that. And Gerrit Cole, as a competitor, Cy Young winner, trust me, I can't second guess him because
Yeah.
you know what? This man wears it on his sleeve. He goes out there, he battles, he does it all. So it was just a bad night after that. You know what I mean?
I think I just never seen it. I think that the expectations when you're a Yankees fan are just so unrealistic. Like I get the math behind it. I get that whatever happens afterwards didn't go into the equation. Anything can happen afterwards. I get it. I think maybe I'm just thinking my emotions. I'm glad that you could clear that up for me a bit though, Greg.
No, no, but because I guarantee you, Gerrit Cole didn't plan for that. But you know what? But I think in that meeting they said we're not going to let. Dude, I mean, you can't. Like I said, I'm not in that rivalry, and I know he
Yeah.
kills the Yankees.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he kills a lot of people, just not the Yankees. But whatever happened after the walk, I per se, I can't comment on that because I don't know. But I just know Gerrit Cole as a competitor, that wasn't his plan. You
Yeah.
know, but what about your Mets though, dude? What's happening with? I mean, not your Mets, but the Mets.
I mean, just the culture and lore around that team this year, it's something to be remembered. From Grimace to Hawk Tua throwing out that pitch. And the OMG Mets. I mean, it's a fun team to watch, and people in New York that are kind of casual baseball fans are tuning in because of how great the Mets and the Yankees are finally playing. So, yeah, it's been fun. It's definitely been fun. And I mean, what's the chance? What do you think the chances of a Subway Series World Series is this year?
What? I think anything's possible. I think anything's possible, but Houston is clicking right now. My whole thing, my Houston's on point. The Dodgers. I mean, how do you count out the Dodgers?
Yeah,
And and two of my former teams, the Padres and the Brewers. I think both of them have what it takes. I think baseball's in a good place. I think baseball, coming into the playoffs is what it's all about. I think it can go so many different ways. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I think the Orioles, I, they're going through a little low right now, but I think you know with just the way the sport goes, they catch fire, say tomorrow or the next day, they ride right out. They have everything it takes. The Brewers are just the Brewers, Scrappy, Harnose, Murphy, and Ricky Weeks. Hey, they're doing it, and the Padres are doing what they're doing. But dude, you know what's crazy is the freaking Astros, man. The Astros. I didn't
Uh,
think they had enough pitching. I didn't think, but this is their time of year every single year.
I don't know how they do it. It's like they just no matter who's coaching, no matter who's over there, Altuve is gonna Altuve, and the Astros are gonna Astro. And I do fear the Astros. I know that the Yankees ran through them in the very beginning of the year,
That
swept
doesn't
them.
matter. That doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter. Does not matter. Like you
Does
said, it's
does
this.
does
This
not
is the
matter.
time of year. Yeah, I'm trying not to overthink it, but yeah, the Astros have the momentum, and as we see these wild card teams tend to do good when they have that momentum.
That's a scary thing. The wild. So you think about it. Me and Robin Yount were talking about this, right? So if the Brewers win the division, all these teams that go first or second in their leagues, they have a week off, dude. That's dangerous. A week off, to me, does not help you. A week off, everything you built up goes away because you can't emulate or gain speed. Simulated pitching workouts for a week, and you get someone like Arizona. You get you get someone like Houston that rolled into the playoffs and they never lose their rhythm or it's I a week off doesn't help you. I hated that.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. And like you said, all these teams in the past, even the Phillies a couple of years back, these are the teams you got to look out for. These wild card teams. So real quick before we go to a very quick break, you mentioned Gary Sheffield not being in the Hall of Fame yet. Does the Hall of Fame even matter to former players at this point because of nobody getting in? All these greats that we watched back in the '90s.
I think it matters per se because you see who they allow in and who they keep out. I think we're accustomed to life, and when people say it's an even playing field, so to speak, it's not. And so I would say, is it going to change? Gary, probably not. Parkway, but we're all human, man. They did what they were supposed to do to get in there. So
Yeah.
why would we keep them out of there?
Especially within the era, like when you look at the times, it's like punishing. It's you'd have to punish everybody.
but you know what? And it's not even about punishment because Gary didn't do anything wrong. Dave Parker was
Yeah,
the baddest man on the goddamn planet.
exactly,
But there's some other people they let in that did some stuff and did things, and they overlooked it. And people that don't have their numbers that they put in. So why are you keeping them out? Why are they in an isolated situation that doesn't per se to everyone else? It's they deserve they check the boxes. And me and Jonathan Ogden were talking about this on my podcast, and he said to me, he said, "Gee, in the NFL, you check the boxes, you go in the Hall of Fame."
exactly.
I said, in baseball, if you check the boxes, you go in the Hall of Fame. They're supposed to, but why do they pick and choose? And unfortunately, it comes back to the committee to say, you know what? Our peers deserve to be here because a writer and another writer and this writer didn't get an interview or they didn't like them per se. Come on, man. The box is the box. It doesn't matter. What if we didn't like you? What if we didn't like the way you interviewed us?
Exactly.
That doesn't matter. It all goes back to politics. It's all about respect, man. Either it's right or it's wrong. If it's not right, it's not right on both sides. If it's right, it's right on both sides. It can't be because I'm blue, it's right, and the red, it's not right. It's right, it's right. If it's not, it's not. And that's the bottom line. And we should respect that. You know what I mean? People died on the flag for us to respect everyone's opinion. As long as they weren't doing it non-violently, to respect, we don't have to agree, but we should respect one another. And that's the part I think we've lost in society. And just the day-to-day socialization of people,
Yeah,
and it. And like I said, man, I'm not the smartest guy. I'm not from Brown, Harvard, Yale, MIT. I respect. It should be a given. If you want
yeah,
respect, give respect.
absolutely.
If they check the boxes, they check the boxes. Whether
Yeah,
you like them or didn't like them, you should be man, woman, or whatever enough to be able to say they did what they had to do. I might not like them or agree with them, but they did what they were supposed to do, and that should be good enough. But unfortunately, we live in a fucked up world that people hold grudges and do shitty things to other people.
yeah, you're absolutely right. Especially, it's like you said. It's either you have the stats and you have the legacy to get in, or you don't, because it's not like you can see what everybody's doing behind closed doors. I'm sure there's some people in the Hall of Fame that were despicable, for all we know, behind closed doors, but they were just nice to the writers. So it
But
shouldn't
but
even be a thing. It shouldn't
but
even
but
be one of the variables to get you in, how you treat and your relationship with these writers. Makes no
but
sense.
but two. How about the pompous, the arrogant writers that treated people like shit, that have to say whether someone did what they were supposed to be to get into that special place? You know what? You could have been a horrible husband, wife. I mean,
Yeah.
wife, husband, person, father, sister, brother, all those things. But yet you get to dictate what happens on somebody else's behalf. It's wrong. In
It
my
doesn't make any sense. They're not playing either. Like I always felt like it should have been the players that kind of voted in, or fans too. Like just writers having that much power. It's like electoral votes. It's like the electoral college.
no, I agree with you. But like I said, so this same writer that's going to hold people out can be a fucking horrible person to someone else.
Yeah.
Wife, husband, father, brother, sister, whatever, but yet he has enough power to dictate who gets in and who doesn't. And to me, it's unfair, it's unjust. But once again, it doesn't surprise me because just look at where we're at in society, man.
You're right. Just like
Just look.
before we started the show, we started a ridiculous conversation. We're gonna get back from a very quick break and finish talking some baseball and talk about the crazy times that we're living in. People are getting taken down everywhere. Nobody going anywhere. Greg Vaughn is in studio. Follow me, Greg Vaughn 23 on Instagram. Hey, Greg, do we got to? Is the wine still flowing around here?
Oh yeah, yeah. Hey, 23 wines still flowing. VonsValley.org. You know, trying to find a cure for diabetes. You know what I mean? And it's it's just crazy times, right, man? I always appreciate you, homie. You know that.
Yeah, we got some more crazy times to talk about. Nobody go anywhere. Greg, stay right here. This is the Ryan Show FM, and we shall return. The Ryan Show FM and all things Ryan Verneuille are brought to you by the greatest cleaning company in the New York City and Long Island area, La Liaison. La Liaison Cleaning is a premier commercial and residential cleaning company proudly serving the diverse regions from New York City all the way out to the Hamptons. Not only does La Liaison deep clean using the best materials possible, organic materials if requested, but what sets them apart is their unique specialization in energy cleaning and removal. The folks at La Liaison focus on enhancing the feng shui of every space that they touch. Their dedicated team employs advanced techniques to clear stagnant energy and create a harmonious environment, ensuring that both your home or workplace are not only spotless, but also revitalized and balanced. Whether you're looking for a thorough cleaning or a transformative energy refresh, La Liaison Cleaning delivers exceptional service tailored to your needs. Book them today online and see for yourself why you need La Liaison in your life. Look no further for a cleaning company. Go to La Liaison's website, laliaisonllc.com. That's LALIAISONLLC.com. Crazy times that we're living in, Mr. Vaughn. We hung out with Bad Boy Zone, or formerly of Bad Boy Zone, and of this radio program, another contributor, Mr. Cheeks. We went out in Vegas. We had a crazy ass time. I'm standing in the Hamptons, or sitting in the Hamptons right now, a place that was once known for the most epic Diddy parties. Little did we know that thousands of bottles of baby oil were inside of that PlayStation mansion. I mean, honestly, Greg, like, look, I don't even want to like go into those dark parts of the imagination, but that's a lot of baby oil. And I saw the FBI photos. I saw that it was baby oil that you could just, it was like easy access baby oil.
Hey, what, right? I have to say this because I have my Life After Sports 23 is my podcast too. As much as we want to joke about it, though, but all the horrible things that were done to people is just sick, right? Why? Well, what gives us the audacity or the mindset to think that we can treat people that way? What makes us think that we can? Because we've had success or power or success, or we have been acknowledged to in our field, whatever it is, to you know manipulate, take advantage, uh, just to not have to be accountable for our decisions. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate because being a person of color, man, we always want to cry and scream about what someone else is doing to us, but we don't look at what we're doing to each other. And that's the sick part. We don't take accountability for how we treat our own. We kill each other. Instead of coming together and there's plenty of seats at the king's table and building and bringing one another up, we we knock each other down. We don't acknowledge and give everyone their flowers that should deserve their flowers. You know it, we're so self-centered that we have to make it about us. That, to me, that's bothersome. I don't understand why us as a race, we can't be happy for one another and build one another up. If we succeed or having success or our accolades or all this, why do we have to show like a power of strength and put somebody else down, or manipulate and use each other? I don't get it, man. Every other race builds each other up. Why can't we? It's as much as the baby oil and the jokes and all that. To me, hey, somebody's all those people that were affected or by him were somebody's dad, sister, brother, daughter, son, and that's the sick part. You know what I mean? And someone could say, "Oh, whatever." You know what? Does that make you a man? Does that make no? It doesn't.
It's
You know,
twisted.
it,
It's twisted,
it,
Greg.
it is twisted, but
You mentioned like he was doing a lot for the black community, right? He had Revolt TV. He was giving people jobs. At least like the illusion or the optics were there that he was helping people. He changed his name to Love, right? Like we all knew about the rumors. We all heard about these hideous things that were going down. It was very transparent. It seemed that everybody kind of knew. It was like not a very well kept secret, but
but you can tell by the track record, your fallout. So look, everybody that was in your life that's now on the outside looking in. If you're the one constant, no matter what everyone says, there's a problem, right?
it's true.
Everyone can't be making this shit up. Everyone can't be, you know, trying to be manipulative of another person. These are facts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Facts are facts. And when you hear the people that were involved with him from the early on, they are they said this would happen, and they also are sort of embellishing the fact that it did happen. And I just think that's part of it, right? I just think that for some reason, man, as a race, man, we got to get together and find a way to build and bring all of us up, man. And so these young kids below us, and if they see us doing it, then they can recognize. But if they never see us doing it, and all we're doing is tearing each other down, killing each other, and and not embellishing, and we can say how proud we are as a race and how this and that, but there's more that comes with that. We have to build each other up. We have to make our neighborhoods the best. We have to have our own businesses. It doesn't mean we can't get along with the rest of society, but it just means we have to work together instead of against each other. It's okay for another black person to be successful, and that black person brings someone else up. But here in the world, it's okay to make this place the best place. We're talking about the election. I know my grandfathers that served, right? And my stepdad and the rest of them. They want this place to be the best place in the world, not a party, a color, or something.
Exactly.
How about making America the best place for, that we can make it?
Yeah.
And I think we have it backwards. I say we eliminate the goddamn parties. I say after 8 years, everybody got to go. Senate, Congress, all that. You can't stand there for 45, 67 years. After 8 years, everyone goes. Let's do policies and not a particular party. You know what I mean? Because even when you hear people talk, it's always about, oh, well, the left brought it up, so the right says it's no good, or the right brought it up, the left says it's no good. What about what's good for the American people? You know what I mean? Isn't that what we're here for? If I'm a politician, but unfortunately, we're to the point where if it's good for my pocketbook and for my family, we're good. But if it's not
Oh
good
yeah.
for the American people, which our forefathers, I think, sort of died for and fought for in the Constitution and the rest of it, I don't understand it. I
No,
mean, that's just me.
we'll never understand it because they don't want you to. I don't want to get too far into like conspiracies here, but I truly believe that it's the Secret Service. I should say all of these organizations that really run the country. Like, if you let's just think of it from a business perspective. Why would you give power or take seriously a guy that got voted in every 4 years? If you're the head of the CIA, if you're one of the top generals in this country, if you're a top general that's been a 4 or 5 star general for the last 30, 40 years, how seriously are you going to take a guy like Trump or Biden or whoever it is that gets voted in on the short term? Like you said, based on a party, not really even on policy. I feel like the system itself, maybe you have to vote some of these guys into position with the CIA or the FBI. I don't know. Honestly, Greg, I'm at a loss.
Well, I think us as a country, we're at a loss. You know what I mean? Because uh, we're voting for what individuals think, this country should be about. You know, it was, I pledged allegiance to the flag when I was growing up, right?
Yeah.
And then and then we had the national anthem. So we had two separate things. So that was for everybody. It wasn't for a specific group. It wasn't for a specific party. It wasn't for a specific race. It was for all of us.
It's true.
And that's not the way we operate now. It's for a certain group, a certain race, a certain party, and we have to look back and say, where did we go wrong? I mean, you think about it. And I always say this to people: unless something happens to you, you don't realize how important it is. If it doesn't affect you, you could care less what happens. But and I use this as my analogy. And let's take crack. Crack was in the black neighborhoods. I don't want to say black, low income, people of color, low income, whatever that group was made up of, right?
Yeah.
It was never a problem. Opioids come along, and then we got politicians' daughters, wives, people of power, their kids, and now we have to have a $1 trillion budget to make sure opioids and people get help. See, that's the problem. So when people say we America's great or not great, it depends what you're talking about because it was fucked up in our neighborhoods and you guys didn't give a rat's ass. But when it hits your neighborhood, we had to freaking now you want to address it. See, American people are American people. Everyone's important. And so until people realize that everyone's life is important, we're going to be in this downward spiral for forever. You know what I'm saying? It's it can't just be important when it affects you. It has to be important when it affects us and makes us weaker or stronger or whatever it is. It's us. It's not people. It's us. You know what? My kids are just as important as their kids and your kids and everybody else. That's what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And we have a fucked up analogy, excuse my language and excuse me for cussing, but we have the way we look at life. If it doesn't affect me, I'm cool. You know
yeah,
what I mean? No, 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 no. Right is right, wrong is wrong.
yeah. We've become so callous, and the government, I guess, just in general, we're able to survive, and until it's right in front of us, we're so distracted by everything from our phone to whatever is in front of us, our jobs. We're not really thinking about anybody else except for our own tribe and our own cult. And we're in a day and age where division is everywhere. They're just pitting us up against each other, and then you follow the problem, and it's just a paper trail. It's like you follow the problem and it leads to the money. Like whether it's people that are hating on gay rights or black rights, it's like when you really follow back, it's special interest groups that kind of cause divide. People that are locked in making money off of problems, whether it's the media getting people to, clickbait, right? Like starting controversy so people can watch the news.
But right, you know what though was crazy about it? Everyone says the media now because of social media and the rest of it, right? But you got to remember those when you went to the grocery store as a kid, those lines and when you check out Esquire, Inquirer, all those magazines were that controversy's been happening forever, right?
Yeah.
It's been because that's what sells. No one wants a good story. Everyone wants to hear BS and hard times. But us as people, we have to do a better job and be smart enough to know that we have to change the narrative. We have to do something different. We can't fall into the propaganda of what everyone else says we should be doing. We should do something different. We have to be smart enough to know that this is not okay. Whether you're black, white, Asian, right is right, wrong is wrong, women, kids, whatever. We have to change it. And all of us as American citizens need to do a better job and have to be accountable. And like I said, when I say this, I'm not excluding myself. Myself, I have to be better. Everyone has to be better. Until we get to that point, nothing's going to change because all we do now is make it about confusion and nothing. The task at hand falls by the wayside because we're talking about shit that doesn't even matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're talking about stuff that's irrelevant. It doesn't matter.
You're
So
absolutely right. It's really up to us. The same way we got to hold players accountable, we got to hold us, the people,
the
accountable.
people, everyone has to be accountable. Until we all do our part. Like I said, our village. Hey, man, when growing up, my village looked like what society looked like: white, brown, yellow, red, black. It was all that. That's what my society looked like. So all of us have to do a better job and hold each other accountable. And like I said, get rid of the nonsense and the chaos and make it better for everyone, not just a party, a person, or a subject. We all need to do a better job of making this place the best place on the planet. And, and until if we continue to make it about parties, if we continue to make it about people, we can't let it go. But we also have to realize that if all of us work together, we're going to be a better place. Working
That's
against each other, you see where we're at working against each other. Work together, we're going to be a better place.
exactly.
Build
Oh
each
yeah.
other up, not tear each other down. Build each other up, build our
Yeah.
country up, build our neighbors up, build our,
Yeah.
you know, just build us up. Don't not break us down and tear us down.
Yeah. I love
And
it.
don't give so many flowers to people that aren't doing the right thing.
Yeah,
Take their flowers away.
exactly.
You take their
Yeah,
flowers
exactly.
away.
Take their damn flowers. Preach, Mr. Vaughn. I got to say, I agree with all those political views. That is why people are listening to this show. We want to hear some damn authenticity. And you know what? Since the last time, to bring it back to sports, to kind of come full circle here, I remember last time you were here, you were talking about finding ways to get the black youth back into baseball. Do you think by including the Negro League stats, that's taking steps to kind of further make things equal? I mean, what are your thoughts about that? Since we last spoke, now we have all of these stats included into the great history of baseball.
That's a good question, right? Because what's crazy about it is my pot, my production company. We're doing a documentary on the Negro Leagues, right? So when you say, you know, I, I don't think everyone's getting their flowers that played in the Negro Leagues. They're giving them to who they wanted to give them to, and to my point, what we were talking about earlier with Shep, or not Shep so much, but Dave Parker, who has
Yeah,
Parkinson's, who is struggling and going through a terrible health issue. We wait until people are gone before they get their flowers, and I feel like Major League Baseball waited too long to give these guys their flowers. That's my personal opinion.
yeah,
Okay, is it a good thing that they did? Did they recognize? Did they do what they? But what took so long?
yeah,
You see, and I think a lot of people that I've talked to, because if you look at quote unquote the other people that don't really care about it, oh, well, at least they did something. But these people deserve what they got, and they should have got it a long time ago. They
yeah,
should have got it when they were alive. They should have got it when it really mattered, and what they went through, the struggle, the fight, all that stuff to help people like myself be able to play in the major leagues. They should have got all this stuff a long time ago. Am I happy they did? But yeah, but am I satisfied with the way they did it? No, because they should have got this a long time ago. The ABA and the NBA,
yeah,
what they do? They did it together, right?
yeah,
They said the NBA is going to be good. We got to make sure the ABA is part of it. You
yeah,
know, Mr. Biddle, that's that try to get the pension and help fight for pension for people that and their families in the part of the Negro League. This man was working on this for 40, 50 years, and now it gets recognized. Am I supposed to be happy? I'm
good
probably not
point.
happy. I'm not happy. I can't say I'm happy, but my opinion doesn't matter. So I'm just trying to keep it real per
Yeah.
se. For,
No, you're
for
right. You're right. Like, I mean, I guess it's great for the families, but the people that endured like that visceral hatred, it took all these years later for them to recognize it when there's been quantifiable proof that the Negro Leagues had players of the same caliber as Major League Baseball.
or
I mean,
better, or
and
better.
better. Like you look exactly. So when you look at the stats that are held by guys like Babe Ruth, do you take them as seriously or do you look at it through the lens of they weren't playing against the best players?
No, for me, hey, they did what they were supposed to do against who they were supposed to do it. So I can respect that. But also, so did those other guys in the Negro Leagues. So respect theirs.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you're going to respect the one side of it, see, this we go back to we were talking about life, right? Respect the other side of it.
Yeah.
Because this is all they got a chance to play against, a chance to compete against, right? So give them their just due for that was their only option for them. And then when they came over here, they did what they were supposed to do. When they were able to integrate, and people forget all the stuff that they had to go through. They couldn't eat in the same hotels. They get to stay in the same hotels. The way they traveled, the way they showered, the way they were freaking just ridiculed and harassed. So isn't that worth something? But for someone to say, "Oh, 2024, we're going to say if you play 3 years, you get a portion of a pension, and your family members, how many are live alive? Mr. Biddle, if you ask Mr. Biddle, and we're gonna come back on your show with Mr. Biddle, so he can tell his side. Is it's just not right, man. It's not fair. It's not right. So, as happy, I don't want to say excited or happy. I will acknowledge that Major League Baseball finally did what they were supposed to do. I'm disappointed that it took this long.
I mean, very well said. How couldn't you be?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
So, what do you think is the next steps that Major League Baseball could take in the direction of actually helping bring more equality to the game?
Holding, I can't say owners and all that, but you look at the other sports. The other sports have done a good job as far as equality and making sure, you know, I don't want to say the right person, but the right person can look like myself or look like somebody else that gets that opportunity.
Yeah,
I don't want to say that because what, the right person should be allowed to fulfill that opening, right? But at the same time, we have to be smart enough and realize that there's not enough people that look like me in the game of baseball.
yeah,
That's the part that has to be recognized.
yeah,
Not saying the right person isn't doesn't have that job, but
yeah,
at least allow us to compete or vie for that opening.
yeah. You're right. You're right, though. The truth. The other leagues kind of do like some of it kind of happens more naturally, and then other ones kind of fight for it. In. I don't want to get you in trouble talking smack about the commissioners of baseball, but kind of has to start at the top, if you want my opinion.
Well, but for two, you have to be smart enough to want to address it, right?
Yeah,
So you have to realize that there's a problem. You have to realize that it needs to be addressed, and then you have to address it. You can't put or per se, oh, we're gonna talk about a few things, and once again say, oh, this is gonna create equality or job openings and all. No, it doesn't add up to a lot of us that have been there. But hey, man, I think the game is exciting. I think there's a lot of great players. You know what I mean? But it's not even what it was when I came in. Every team had 6 or 7 people of color, man. And now, if they want to tell me we ain't good enough, now that's bullshit.
yeah,
No, no, they choose to take someone else instead of letting us have the same opportunity.
right.
That's what they choose. Back then, they took the best player able to help their team. Now they say, unless per se you're a superstar, you're not going to be given this opportunity. And I can't remember my guy's name for the Reds that won Player of the Week, the outfielder that came up and did something that no one's else done in baseball. He won Player of the League twice, and the Reds sent him down. The, the David Bell says, "Hey man, he ain't gonna play left field for me. This son bitch could have been on the All Star team, but he can't play left field for you. And you guys are winning 67 games, 80, 70. So when does the general manager come in and say, so you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So this kid wins Player of the Week twice and did something no one else hitting balls out the game, and he gets sent down. Come on, man.
yeah.
Hey, we're used to it, man. It is what it
That's
is.
crazy. No, you're absolutely right.
It
And it
is what it
starts at the
is.
top. And it's kind of an unfortunate note to end it on, but you know what? There I still have faith in humanity. To
Me
bring it
too.
full circle, I still have faith in humanity and that we can still respect one another and still unite under the right like morality. Whether it be like the flag, everyone getting along for the country, or just for the right principles. Keep the
Just,
faith.
hey, Ryan, I always love you, dude. Appreciate you. You know what I mean? You've always been there for me. And hopefully more people will realize what you just said, and it will make this place, the place we call home. the United States of America a better place, dude. I mean, you know what I mean? Don't make it about. Isn't that the end goal to make this place the best place in the world, or is it
Not
just to
just for
make?
us, but for our kids, for our grandkids. Like it's we got to pass down the legacy, man. Like our grandparents left us the great responsibility, and it's up to
Yeah,
us to do the right thing.
yeah. Not dictate what was supposed to happen, but to
Yeah,
leave this place as a better place than when it was when we came in. We're going
yeah,
backwards, and that's not okay. It's not okay for us to put people down and talk about people. And the sick part about it is, right, that there's a whole group of people that think that that's okay.
yeah. Exactly. And it's not. And it's a mindset. It's a groups of people with that negative, toxic mindset. Get rid of it, folks. You heard it right here
Get
from
rid of it.
MLB
Yeah,
legend
yeah.
Greg Vaughn. And
Hey,
Greg, real quick, that podcast of yours, we got to send the people your way. Where can they hear this podcast?
oh, Life After Sports 23. Life After Sports 23. It's on YouTube, all the Spotify, all the platforms. Hey, but interact with us. Reach out to us.
Yeah,
Let us know what's happening because Life After Sports isn't about you had to play a sport to be on our podcast. It's a platform that allows anybody to tell their story. It brought myself, my co-host James Harris, who was a retired NFL player. It brought us together, but it's a platform for everyone to tell their story because people hear enough about sports, but there's a lot of other issues and a lot of other things in life that are more important than retired athletes. It's about your story and our platform. We wanted to have a safe place for people to tell their story.
that's what it's all about. The journey, and you can
Hey,
tune
hey,
in
hey, 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 and drink lots of 23 wines.
for
Lots of
sure.
23.
Get yourself a bottle now. 23 wines. Go to Greg Vaughn 23 on Instagram. Thanks as always, Greg. We'll have you call back in again soon, and hopefully one day I can join you and talk about my non-athletic lifestyle and my
we
story
get
of
you a
not
pickleball.
playing professional sports.
We get you a pickleball, Ryan. You're good, dog. You always, hey, love you, dude, man. You guys always show me love, man, and you're the best. I appreciate you.
Love you too, brother. And everybody keep on listening. We're gonna close things out tonight. This is the Ryan Show FM featuring the great Greg Vaughn, and we will be back after these messages. Let's go.